All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, and I'm here once again with my buddy through the miracle of computer phone with Dave DeFore. Coach Dave DeFore calling in from Europe. Dave, how has the European summer been?
Been awesome. It's good to be back. Good to be back on the show, but man, it's been really good to be back in Europe. The vegetables taste so much better here.
So you haven't continuously been in Europe, just to let the listeners know, but you are now, you were in Europe and now you're back in Europe. What's been going on? You got the Medal of Honor from Georgia, right?
I did. Yeah.
But I'm not joking. Like I said that.
No.
I think I said it on the Patreon only episode I released last week, patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast with our friend Joey Devine. And we were like, yeah, he got like the Medal of Freedom or the Medal of Honor or whatever it is. You got the Medal of Honor from Georgia.
The Order of Honor.
Order of Honor.
The Medal of Honor. Yeah.
Buddy, congratulations. What was that like?
That was honestly, it was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously it's hard to get to Georgia. So by the time I was there, I was kind of fried, but
yeah.
I didn't let a lot of the guys know I was coming.
Right.
And so I got to surprise a bunch of people, which is always, it's nice to watch people light up when they see you and don't think you're going to be somewhere.
Yes. I was just thinking maybe for the people who aren't deeply seeped in Fast Break Breakfast lore, maybe let people know why you received you didn't fight in a battle for them.
No, I didn't. No. It's nothing serious like that. So yeah, I coached in the 2023 World Cup. I was on the coaching staff for the Republic of Georgia. And I mean, it was honestly, one of the best things in my life.
Yeah.
And a few months ago, I got a text message from someone with the team asking for this information, like where was my dad born? It was like, hang on, are you gonna like hack my credit card? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I mean, I know these people, so I was like, yeah, here's the info. What's it for? And they kind of said they were like, hey, we're going to be getting some awards. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's great. That's really nice. And then a few weeks later, I got this email from them, and it was like, hey, we're hoping you can make it. I didn't realize at first that there was going to be some kind of ceremony. I thought they were going to like send something in the mail, like a certificate or something, like, hey, thank you for being a part of this. Like we made top 16 in the world. This is a small country.
Yeah.
It's the best finish that they've ever had in the World Cup. I'm honored to have been a part of it. It was very nice. But when they sent me the email inviting me to come, I was like, well, okay, I'll be there. Because,
That's
this
incredible.
is like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very humbling.
I'm sorry, but were they vetting your lineage to make sure you weren't Russian or Bosnian? Or I don't know. Who is that?
I don't know.
We got to make sure Dave doesn't descend from the Visigoths or something.
Well, what I found out. Okay, so what I found out, I was being awarded the Medal of Honor as a part of the team.
Yeah.
And from the president of Georgia.
Yeah.
And they actually sign a law to do this. So there's there's a whole signature process. So I think it's a part of that.
Yeah.
I have all this. This is all back in my house in California because like you said, I did go home.
Yeah.
And so I got to see all of my guys. Man, I don't know, must have hung 100 people.
Yeah.
In one day. And met the president of Georgia, who said that his kid watches me on YouTube, which was funny.
Nice.
It was amazing. Really, really great time. And then, the team was leaving that night to go to training camp for Eurobasket, where they're at right now. I think they just lost to Bosnia.
They did just lose to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yeah. So now they need Spain to lose.
Right, because they beat Spain in the opening game, which is a huge win.
Eurobasket occurring right now. 14 of the 16 spots, I think, are clinched for the knockout rounds. Spain needs to win to advance, I believe. Yeah. Or did Spain already get in now because Georgia lost?
No, Spain has to win because it goes to head-to-head.
Okay.
So because Georgia beat Spain, if Spain loses, then they're out and Georgia's in.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
That's so cool.
Like, yeah, it was honestly like it was a very emotional day. In a lot of ways, but it was awesome. It was really good to see everybody. Got to like, getting to touch people is good and important.
Yes.
So it was really nice. I mean, the Medal of Honor was a nice cherry on top of
Sure.
the entire thing. Like it's another little fun story that I've got.
Where do you put that? Where do you put that on your CV? Does that go above athletic podcaster, or does it go like, where does it go? Okay.
Definitely above athletic podcaster.
Recipient of the Order of Honor, Republic of Georgia.
Still there. Very, very happy to be there.
That's
season
awesome.
2, the Athletic NBA Daily starting. Keith is coming on soon. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, that's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life.
Sure.
Was coaching in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And this was like a nice cherry on top of that entire thing. But I'm not sure where to put that on my resume. Like if I worked for an NBA team and I was doing media,
right,
I'd get like I don't know, probably 15-20% salary bump. Just
now we're talking.
They'd call me some kind of an insider or something like that.
There you go.
I guess I'm going to have to go negotiate. Hey, what do I get?
Yeah, this should be a bump.
This?
Hey guys, New York Times, this is a bump. I'm just saying.
I mean, I haven't talked about it on the Daily at all. Yeah. So this is kind of breaking news out there for the.
There you go. You're renegotiating. Breaking news. I love it.
I'm not renegotiating. No,
I'm messing around. I'm messing around. Athletic, if you're listening. No, all right. So, but yeah, I'm excited to have you back. Of course, I'm excited for your honor from Georgia. Also, now you're in Germany, hanging out with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I've got
doing basketball stuff there.
Staff.
Yeah,
so cool. Including Gordon Herbert, who's the head coach of Bayern Munich. He was the head coach of the German national team that won the World Cup in 2023. So I've just spent the last week with them in training camp. I've called it continuing education. Is really I'm just hanging around, talking to people, and kind of soaking in. Basketball practice is one of my favorite things in the world, man. And just being able to like walk in the gym and hearing, there's no people in there, it's just players, and hearing the shoes squeak and the ball bounce. And they've got the LED court here,
right? I've seen this
in their home arena where they practice, and so I got a chance to see that in action and how they use it.
So during practice, does it have like light up, shoot from here or something, or what? Well, how does the LED? How do they use it in practice?
So you can do stuff like that. Like you can draw on it. You can do all sorts of things. And what they've done is they kind of have like, for different scenarios, a lot of it's obviously it's built around spacing. It's stuff that I would do with like painter's tape on the floor.
Sure.
Only you pull out a tablet and draw on an iPad.
Yeah.
My buddy Jens Lutenecker, who's one of the coaches here, he kind of runs it. He's also their analytics guy because in Europe you only get like 4 or 5 guys on your staff. So everybody's a video coordinator, everybody's a scout, everybody's doing a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, this has been amazing, man. Wenyen Gabriel, by the way, he's gonna play for Bayern Munich this year. Great guy, number one, super nice. But also shocking to watch. A guy of an NBA player,
actual NBA pedigree,
and you watch him do stuff that you've never seen him do outside of the G League, and even in the G League, like I'm watching him in practice shooting movement threes.
Right.
Come on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've at an NBA shoot around seen like Steven Adams just draining 3 after 3, like just like
now this is like they're going 5-on-5.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
in the actual run.
Down. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's been a lot of fun. It's just good to be around the gym, It's my favorite thing. So yeah, man, I've had a great summer. It feels good to be back like in the gym and just around players. And then Kawhi Leonard has come to just, hey,
Kawhi Leonard,
get back to
some
work.
NBA news. That's right. Yeah. So we're going to talk on this show, of course, about maybe a little bit of Eurobasket stuff, the Kawhi Leonard situation, Pablo Torre breaking the news of Kawhi getting a lot of money for a very easy endorsement job. Of course, the Clippers have come out with their statement refuting a lot of that stuff. Also, Cam Thomas gets signed. So there is some NBA stuff to talk about. Before we get into it, Dave, though, Let's do our breakfast. You're now in Germany. What's a nice German breakfast? What have you had?
Well, the German, the German breakfast is interesting, right? The spread in a hotel, you
Yeah,
got your meats and cheeses and
of course.
salads and stuff like that. So I had cereal, which I don't eat at home, but
Yeah.
cereal with oat milk,
Okay.
just like some like cornflake style muesli or something,
Yeah.
with some raisins in it. Pretty good. And then cucumbers and hummus because I'm a big hummus guy. If there's ever hummus available, I'm gonna eat it.
Not
Pretty good.
bad.
Yeah. And I've been drinking too much espresso.
Ah,
Way too much espresso.
yeah.
Like 4 in a day is just don't do it, Keith.
You're traveling, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, my
What about you?
breakfast, black coffee, just a little bit of fruit. I'm gonna need something. I mean, I'm gonna need a grain in a second. I'm not sure what it's gonna
Yeah.
be. It might actually be cereal.
Oatmeals. Hey, you got any dates? Some oatmeal. I
Yeah, I know dates and
really good.
oatmeal.
I'm missing it right now.
It's your endorsement. You got to get a date sponsorship lined up.
I know.
Anyways, those were our breakfast. Let's jump straight ahead actually into steak and eggs best things because there's been a lot of
All
cool
right.
stuff that have been going on. What has been or for you, Dave? It's obviously your personal life. You got to do the Georgia
My
thing.
summer.
But basketball wise, maybe last week, last 2 weeks, what's the best thing you've seen?
Hey, listen, the best thing has been honestly proud of the Georgian guys for beating Spain in that opening game.
Yeah,
Huge win. And again, like they've got a chance to qualify and make it into the knockout rounds of Eurobasket. And it's fun to have, like I've got a personal rooting stake in Eurobasket. So, that's always a good time for me.
Your guy, is it Shangaila?
Toko Shingalia.
Shingalia. He did the wait. Which player was it in the NBA who went up to each ref and is like, you're a B, you're a B, you're a B, your mom's a B, your grandma. I can't remember. How do I even search that? But he did it. He lost it at the end of one of those games where he came in off the bench and then got ejected in the fourth quarter and just gave a very pointed FU, like strong finger in each referee's face. He got his money's worth for the ejection.
Comes down,
there you go.
You know it's a problem. Okay.
There you go, man. There's been so much good Eurobasket. I have been watching, but maybe more casually. Like I'm tuning in to the Alperen Şengün Jokic showdown. Turkey got the upper hand on Wednesday. There was one guy that actually caught my eye for Italy. This guy Niang, who like I watched 2 of their games in full and was like, this guy is a spark plug. It turns out he was a late second-round pick of the Cavs this year. Saliou Niang. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. A Senegalese-Italian professional player, second-round pick of the Cavaliers. I was really impressed by him. I thought he was a really solid guy.
Yeah,
Did you
fast, long?
Yeah,
tall. Had a huge dunk a couple days ago.
Just the activity. It's one of those things where you're watching, you're like, all right, the Eurobasket game is a little bit different, but yeah, he was very good.
Georgia struggled to deal with him, like with his speed. He was actually pretty fast coming around the corner too.
Yeah. Did you have an opinion? I don't know if people saw it. The France Slovenia quote unquote controversy at the very end of the game. So France without Wembanyama, without some of the big name guys, no Gobert, like they beat Luka Doncic in Slovenia. This guy Francisco has like 27 points or something. But at the very end of the game, Luka goes in for the handshake with like 10 seconds left, and because they're down by like 7. But then like the guy, Francisco accepts the handshake and then blows by him for an uncontested layup. Point differential's huge in these tournaments.
It matters.
I see it both ways. I see like I understand Slovenia being upset, but also it's like, hey, point differential matters. I think
you gotta listen, man. Like I would laugh about it. I guess like I don't know. I think it's funny. The point differential does matter though, so you got to play the full 40.
Yeah.
No shaking hands, by the way. Come on, Luka especially. Like he's a killer.
Yeah.
I just want to just be one.
Yeah. Also, we had Simone Fontecchio, Miami Heat's. Simone Fontecchio set a Italian record with 39 points in international competition. Absolutely massive game. It's been pretty cool. Portugal advances, like Namias Keita been like a revelation in this kind of tournament. Yeah. It's also funny watching guys who you think of in just this general jaded NBA sense where you're like, so-and-so is washed or whatever. And I'm
Right.
specifically thinking of like Yusuf Nurkic, where you watch him out here and he's bringing the ball up the court and he's like hooping
Shooting
all over
threes
people.
from the top of the
yeah. And
key,
you're like, dang, like Bosnian Beast is for real. This guy's playing.
It's like Wenyen Gabriel, man. You
Right,
take
exactly.
a guy who's in the NBA and the NBA, listen,
Yeah.
it is not quite basketball, right? Like the NBA is its own sort of sport.
Yeah.
And largely like a lot of it's marketing based too, because the stars touch the ball all the time. And if you're a role player, your job is often stand in the corner, play defense.
Yeah.
Pass the ball back to the star, right? Like shoot when there's 2 seconds left on the clock, when the star dribbles 85 times and gives you the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas in Eurobasket, like these guys have to hoop, like they got to play together. And you know, it's why I think every single time the Olympics comes around, every single time the World Cup comes around, people are always saying, wow, why can't we have this? How much fun is that?
Oh yeah. Why can't we not have live ball timeouts? And why can't we not have the defense is allowed to play defense? And if the offensive player,
companies.
yeah. It is funny though. I do feel very much that FIBA officiating has been strongly influenced by the NBA. Specifically in this tournament, I'm noticing they don't call travels.
No.
It used to be this like learning curve when the NBA guys had to play internationally, where it's like, guys, they call traveling. Like if you shuffle your feet
fake.
and they are not calling it, they're letting guys shuffle their feet. I don't know. Is this Dave? Is this us on our deathbeds being like, they used to call traveling in all these basketball games? No one calls it. It's really funny. So if you're coaching now, kids sports, when I help coach my 7-year-old daughter's girls basketball team, like when I teach them the very basics of layups, like pick the dribble up, take 2 steps. Now, this is a thing that was not done to me when I was a kid. Now I'm like, hey, right-hand kids, make sure you're picking that ball up. End your dribble on your left foot. That's your gather. You know, like you're with 7-year-olds and you're like, you got to make sure you have 2 giant Euro steps after you pick up your, you need to have 2.5 steps. Like you got to make sure you're always picking the ball up over here. Cause like technically you get 2 more steps. That's what, so it's funny where it's like,
well, there's one problem with that though, Keith. The only league in the world that has the gather step codified is the NBA.
But I'm telling you, they're not calling it in FIBA. They're letting them get away with it. And so now I'm like, all right.
Get anywhere in America either, right? It's not being called in AAU. It's not being called in EYBL. And, you know, I mean, much to my chagrin, because I do think, you know, again, let's just, the defense has no chance anymore. It has become, you know, it's just an offensive exhibition of a sport for the most part now.
Let's do another barely basketball thing. Here's my steak and eggs best thing. I want to congratulate a Fast Break Breakfast guest. I did a show a month ago with Owen Phillips, who on and off again writes the awesome F5 newsletter. This is the 2nd consecutive time that Owen Phillips has been a guest on Fast Break Breakfast and then got hired by an NBA team within weeks. So Owen's going to work for the Nuggets. So the Fast Break Breakfast boost, it's real. It's real. So 2 for 2.
I mean, hell. World Cup.
You're the world. Yeah. Owen has said next time he's unemployed, he's coming back on the show. So that's perfect.
Congratulations, Owen, man.
No, I will say another best thing. I think this is the best thing. Good job, Cam Thomas. Thomas, finally, I mean, we've had this entire impasse. We passed Labor Day without any of the restricted free agents getting anything done. Josh Giddey's still out there. Kuminga out there. Cam Thomas was out there. Quentin Grimes out, like nothing with the restricted free agents. Cam Thomas is finally like, screw it. I'm accepting the qualifying offer. And so he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. The Nets possibly going to lose Cam Thomas or let this asset go for probably nothing. Maybe they work out a sign and trade next summer, get a little bit of something. What are your thoughts on Cam Thomas betting on himself and the Nets being like, no, thank you.
I mean, listen, I think Cam Thomas is a very good player. I tend to agree with him that he's worth more money than they were offering.
Yeah.
You know, for a guy who can put up, I mean, he can put up 25 in the NBA. You say like, okay, yeah, he's a good player on a bad team. Okay, those guys get paid too. I
Right.
mean, Jordan Poole is still getting paid, however much he's getting.
World champion Jordan Poole.
Okay, sure, but would you rather have who do you want next season, Jordan Poole or Cam Thomas?
I'll take Cam Thomas for $6 million expiring.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay, sure, but and obviously the money is nowhere
Right.
close to this.
Right.
But, I actually, I understand wanting security, so I know why these guys will sometimes take lesser deals to get more years because who knows what's going to happen. But also, he's making good money. It's not like he's going to be broke. And he plays for the Brooklyn Nets. Like he's going to touch the ball every single time down. He's going to be their best player. He's going to score a lot. And teams always need a guy who can put the ball in the basket. And so, maybe this is the year that we see even more out of Cam Thomas. I mean, I don't know how much more he has to do. Maybe it's some playmaking, but look at who's around him. So you don't even know what kind of a playmaker he could be, really, because the guy, like, who's going to finish plays playing next to Cam Thomas?
Well, the
He
Nets
just doesn't
are
really
a
have
catastrophe.
lot.
I mean, the Nets are an embarrassing
And so if you're Cam,
collection of players right now. Yeah.
Do I want to be locked in to the Nets, or do I want to go be a free agent next year?
So I
think that this makes a lot of sense. And then next summer, the teams have money next summer.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams with cap space.
Next summer could be the dumb contract summer again.
Part of me wonders if this archetype of player, beyond Cam and whatever baggage people view him in, as like, oh, he's like a score first and doesn't help you win. I mean, of course, he got into it publicly with Zach Lowe, where Zach Lowe was just Zach was just again repeating what he's heard or whatever.
Right.
And then Cam Thomas publicly saw the aggregation and is like, these teams are double teaming me every night. And it turns out actually Cam Thomas was double teamed more than almost anybody else in the NBA last year. But I also look at how this has just become an undervalued position. Like Colin Sexton was basically available for free. And like, arguably who's the better player of those two, but still it's like, it seems like a comparable player. So what's he going to get for the Nets? It's like, I assume they didn't want to pay him anything and would rather him go into unrestricted free agency because of their precious cap sheet. And they want it just to be beautiful. They're like, oh no, it's perfect.
2026.
Yeah. Our cap sheet's perfect. We don't want to tie it up. And it's like, you have no one. You have Michael Porter Jr. Like your team is nothing. Nick Claxton. Like, what are you doing? You just don't want another guy? Like, you're really not going to have enough cap space next year? Are you going to get two guys? Are you prepared to offer the tree planting contract it's going to take to get a free agent next summer?
Well, so they might be able to. Hey, they might be the only team that can get a certain free agent if he's looking for a new home here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, if certain contracts are voided. Speaking of tree planting contracts, Dave, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about Kawhi Leonard. All right, Dave. I guess this is our cream of wheat, worst of week. Steve Ballmer allegedly, don't sue me, allegedly circumventing the salary cap, according to the Athletics' own Pablo Torre. This is an interesting story.
Great podcast episode, by the way.
Incredible stuff.
I'm very impressed.
So the story, loosely, this aspiration company, which was a fraudulent startup thing that the guy has pled guilty to fraud, was a Clippers team sponsor, jersey sponsor, right? Mm-hmm. They paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million. Kawhi's not getting all that money, or did he already get it all?
He's gotten $21 million.
He's gotten
$7 million a year for
$7 million a year for endorsements. And as far as anyone can tell, this man, Kawhi, did not deliver on the endorsement part of this. Pablo Torre got actual employees, former employees of Aspiration, to be like, yeah, this seemed like a scam. And it seems like those people were using the term salary cap circumvention. And so this
internally.
And so that's become a huge story. And it, of course, blew up on the internet. On Wednesday, the league announced they're starting an investigation based on this. Steve Ballmer, who has more money than God and the NBA, has put out his thing saying, of course, we did not circumvent the salary cap. This is preposterous to say we would. They started off by saying the team said it's provably false. So they have not proved it to be totally false yet. Sure. So we're waiting on that. But, I think from the outsider perspective, you're like, that seems fishy. But then I think it leads to the questions of, for me as a basketball consumer, well, what does everybody else do with their players? $7 million feels like a big endorsement per year, but then I want to know, what other NBA players are getting $7 million a year for something like this? Like, what is so-and-so's Puma contract? Is it $7 million? Cause I don't, this is my ignorance of not knowing the business of basketball. Pretty huge.
Shoe deals are big.
Yeah. Right? Like Ja's shoe deal is huge with Nike.
Yeah. It could be more than he makes on his NBA salary. I'm not up on his deal, but there's plenty of guys that were before, this huge salary cap boom, were making more on shoe money than they were making on NBA money. I mean, the shoe companies have run the NBA for a long time in that sense because of how much they're able to pay.
Right.
There is no salary cap on endorsements. Now, maybe there ought to be. Maybe that's something that the league and the union can talk about.
Horrible.
No, probably not. But I mean, this is to get $7 million a year to do nothing is the American dream. And Kawhi Leonard, in a lot of ways, is sort of living all of our dream lives. Like, he's an amazing basketball player, but he never really has to show up to work, and he makes tons of money. And now he's got an extra source of income that he didn't have to show up to. I mean, spread the wealth a little bit. That's all. I don't. I mean, and truthfully, Kawhi didn't do anything necessarily wrong here, outside of like how you feel about going around the union.
Well, and we don't know
NBA.
If Kawhi.
Well, know. Here's what we know.
Anything wrong?
We know that he started an LLC, and we know that he signed an endorsement deal with this company for $28 million. Right. So again, none of that. What?
There were, at the time of Kawhi Leonard's free agency, there were lots of reports about the demands being made by his camp, so to speak. There was all the talk about his uncle asking for these things, and there were complaints. I think famously Jeannie Buss was like, no, we're not going to pay this extra thing. That seems
we're not going to buy you a house.
Yeah, that seems like salary cap circumvention. The Raptors were sort of upset because they thought there was a demand, which again, this goes to my ignorance of not knowing what is commonplace in the NBA. When a player signs a free agent contract, are they like, I also need $15 million in endorsements? Because apparently that's what Toronto lined up to keep Kawhi. They're like, we found you $15 million in off the court endorsements. This, to an idiot like myself, smells like salary cap circumvention. But if everyone does it, if that's just the typical thing, and we always talk about the advantage that big markets have, like you go to the Lakers because you can make more money off the court. That's just accepted. Whether it is the Austin Reeves car lemon endorsement thing, whatever that was, I can't remember what that campaign was called. But you think those things, maybe they come about organically. They're not specifically set up by the teams, but of course they are specifically set up by the teams. And that's, again, I assume that's in the CBA somewhere, but I don't know.
No, that's not. I mean, the issue here is the Ballmer money. Yeah. It's not the money from Aspiration. It's not the LLC that Kawhi set up. It's not the $28 million. It's the $50 million.
Right, because Ballmer is also invested in this company. So you could say, oh, look, the owner put in $50 million, 28 went to this prized free agent. And that's where you have to say, again, Aspiration being a team sponsor, it does seem a little strange to have the owner, and this is just, I guess, the uber wealthy being good with their money. This is Russ Hanneman on Silicon Valley. No, but I'm saying I'm spending the money on the billboards that I own, on the moving services that I own. This is how all private equity or whatever, you're like, oh yeah, we sold off all the land that every Red Lobster is on, and now Red Lobster rents the land, back from our own company. Oh, whoops, we're bankrupt, but we made a lot of money. So yeah, Ballmer putting in $50 million to Aspiration, Aspiration also giving 28 million to Kawhi. Those were independent things, is the argument.
That's the argument that the Clippers have made in their statement.
Yeah.
So, we had Pablo and Sam Amick on the pod yesterday on the NBA Daily. And I brought up what's to stop Steve Ballmer from saying, no, I just believed in this company and the Kawhi stuff was separate. And that's pretty much what they said in the statement that they put out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I believe it just doesn't pass the sniff test to me.
Yeah.
And I see there's a lot of folks that are kind of caping. They love to go to bat for billionaires. And even though we know how they operate, it just seems to me fishy enough that, okay, we've got fingerprint. I don't need to see the smoking gun because I have the fingerprints on the shell casing and I see the motive. And also in 2015, they did this with DeAndre Jordan. Now it was a very much smaller sum of money, which still would be a lot of money to a regular person. $200,000 Lexus deal or something that they were setting up, $200,000 a year for
right.
DeAndre Jordan, and they got hammered. Well, not hammered, but they were punished for that. This is obviously significantly more money, and the timeline of events for this really calls the entire thing into question. Right? It was the deal that he took, setting up the LLC 6 months before he signs the contract to do the endorsement with Aspiration. And then the building of the Intuit Dome being really hinging on keeping Kawhi Leonard and keeping Paul George. And so you just start to put all these pieces together and it's like, well, it certainly looks like it, it's the pornography thing, right? I don't know circumvention. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
When I see it. Well, also
it certainly feels that way.
Morally, ethically, I haven't explored this a lot with myself and my own beliefs. I don't think there's anything morally or ethically wrong. Maybe ethically there is. I kind of the salary cap and max salaries. The league has decided, and it's been, of course, collectively bargained to artificially restrict the amount teams can pay the most valuable players. LeBron, obviously, deserves more. Jokic and Giannis and the absolute best players deserve more. There was a time that Kawhi, of course, deserved more.
Sure.
And when you tie in all those things you just said, the relocation of the Clippers to the Intuit Dome, there was a bigger value to him. So let Ballmer, who has more money than he needs as a human being, give it to Kawhi.
Biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
None of these people are paying enough in taxes.
Right. Well, there we go.
People talking about the players getting what they deserve.
And parts of this,
they don't teach any kids or anything.
Yeah. And also part of it is, it of course is very similar to the things we've seen in college athletics that were loosely approved for a bit. And, the things were oh yeah, when you enroll at the University of Texas, you're going to get a job at the Hyundai dealership.
Right.
And it's you're making $900 an hour. You just have to check in, but you would physically show up for your technically a no-show job, but they would be no, he was there. So they would go and hang out.
No, you drive the loaner car.
And you drive the loaner car. Yeah.
With the dealer on it.
And so this is the part of it. I don't know morally how much it bothers me, but it is interesting in the salary cap leagues. And of course, all professional sports leagues have various fair play rules, and you have balanced the league because the league has decided that having fair equality capped off, you can't have the richest people spending way more than everybody else. They think that's better for the health of the league. So it's going to be interesting. And how much does Adam Silver have the stomach for doing something publicly like this? Because I would say no, probably not.
No,
I think it's probably better for the league to him to be yeah, we looked into it. No, Ballmer's right. I can't imagine.
Now, hold on. You don't think it's better for the league if he says, okay, we looked into it. It's fishy enough, but we can't quite say it's 1-to-1. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a fine and a couple of draft picks, which don't matter to the Clippers anyway. See, this is my guess, is that a punishment will come, but it's going to be nothing because the other owners are also doing this, at least some of them. Like Memphis is not. This is just not available to the Grizzlies. They don't have this kind of business situation.
That's ridiculous. Right? Robert Parra is, I think he's like 4th richest NBA owner.
Yeah. Why doesn't he act like it?
He likes
with his basketball team.
Likes counting his checks. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, but I just for the Memphis Grizzlies, this isn't available, is what I mean. Right?
Well, like yeah. Most teams, there's no
political like consultants out there.
There's no
setting up fraudulent.
There's no startup. Like it seems like there could be, but also like even if there is a paper trail, not to get into like normal things, like we had like the Panama Papers. Like we know that everyone, like every rich person in the world was cheating. And it's like, we have a paper trail and some people got murdered and it was like, oh, nothing happened. You know, nope, like absolutely nothing happens. So,
Ballmer, please don't send out the hit squad.
That's right. Yeah. But like again, there's no reason to do hit squads because no one cares anymore about anything.
Also,
you know,
one,
it's like,
I would say that, and that's what, you know what, I kind of talked about this a little bit. Just, we are at the point where corruption is just accepted now.
Yes.
And a lot of it's because of the way that our media works and the access that everyone needs to have. This is why I think it's important that Pablo did it.
Yeah.
Because Pablo's a guy who truly values journalism.
Right.
And it's really nice to see someone trying to hold people to account. Now it's only sports, right? Like in this instance, like Steve Ballmer didn't do anything illegal. Kawhi didn't do anything illegal.
Right.
That we know of, right? It's just violating the salary cap. But to me, like as a basketball consumer, NBA fan, and someone that does this for a living, you are like the competitive balance of the league actually matters to me. Yeah. And if you're going to do something outside the lines, like, okay, why can't the Grizzlies play 6 guys then? 6 guys at a time. Screw it. Make your own rules.
Yeah.
We got a 4-point line. We're just going to make it up as we go. And so if Adam Silver's not willing to put his foot down and say, no, look, we have these rules for a reason. It matters. Well, then forget it. The bubble title's not the only one that's fraudulent. All of them are.
Well, how does this compare to tampering? Because tampering has always been accepted. And certain teams are like,
doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they're both the same set of rules.
Different.
They're the same set of rules that some teams weren't doing it, apparently. I don't know.
I do think it's different because the financial aspect of this, I mean, again, it's a tool that's not available to every team.
Do you think Adam Silver...
Steve Ballmer's the most rich owner in professional sports in the world, right? Like, he's the 6th richest guy on the planet. And they just set up this whole new CBA to stop him from just being able to buy...
that's he's only the richest until the board of governors and Adam Silver allows the Saudi wealth fund to own a team.
Well, exactly. Well,
which is coming.
Well, that's why I don't expect anything to happen from here because they don't want to mess the money up. Adam Silver took a bunch of millionaire owners and turned them into billionaires.
Right.
And they love him for it. And he has been the most owner friendly. People say he's player friendly, which is true. But the reason he's been so player friendly is because no one wants to mess with the meal ticket.
Right.
And everyone's making so much money. Who cares about the rules? It's all fake anyway, right?
Well, that's the traveling. The new
guys take 4 steps now.
The new NBA Europe team is just getting different investors. The games in UAE, you know, like they're doing all these like Qatari wealth fund, like the I don't know, like it's a lot of like, okay, I don't know how we're supposed to feel about this. The sports washing of all these things, which is across all sports. Do you think Adam Silver leaked the All-Star game changes, thinking that would
100%.
take the conversation away?
Listen, if they have a press conference, if someone has a press conference about this and we get a bunch of helicopters over top of it, you know,
I love the idea of Adam Silver, who like Adam Silver is, I think, as a human being, undeniably brilliant. Like in the spectrum of human beings, I think he's very smart. When it comes to certain things, like changing the All-Star format, I think he might be a moron. Like, I mean, yes, I am going to grant him his wish and talk about it for 60 seconds and not talk about Kawhi. But like him being like, hey, we've changed the All-Star format again. What if it's 3 teams round robin, this time a world team? It's like, why can't you just have a basketball game between 2 clearly defined teams? or
Just
don't do it. Like, again, they keep fixing it. What is he waiting for? Like, he's going to change it every year? What if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, and Jokic all have the flu? Like, who's like, do we have to have a certain number of like a quota of international players? It shouldn't be that hard, but still.
There was nothing wrong. There was absolutely nothing wrong with East versus West.
I find the funniest thing when you go to the basketball, and I understand not everyone goes to Basketball Reference. Shout out Basketball Reference. But when you go to like the All-Star game, all-time records of each game, and it's like East versus West, East versus West, and it's all like, it's 160 to 150 and 180 to 100. We hit 200. It's out of control. And then you get to the bottom, and I can't remember what the score was last year, but it's like two things that have, you have no idea. I found it. It says 2025 score. Oh, they even took the score off. No, maybe I'm looking on plus, but it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, there it is. Team Shaq 41, Team Chuck 25.
Right.
And it's like you have 4 or 5 decades of East versus West with these basketball scores, and then you get to like 2025 and it says like Team Shaq, Team Chuck 41 to 25. And I was like, what is that? Why did it? No one's ever going to remember any of these things. Like the old way. The old way, you had a remote chance of remembering something that happened.
Right.
I don't think.
I mean, I remember stuff from All-Star games as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And let's not forget, like, it's an exhibition game.
It's an exhibition game for casual fans. But so it's not just for casual fans. It's not just for children. It most definitely is for children. It is for casual fans, but it's also for real fans. It's for all three. And like I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know who they're trying to appeal to. It's not me, but they're trying to get us off the scent of Kawhi and Malik Beasley.
I agree with that.
And Terry Rozier. I don't know.
Malik Beasley. Oh yeah.
Malik Beasley.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's still out there.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, I think still got some problems.
Dave, what if? And again, they don't have the standard. The NBA, much like the NFL and their conduct policy, they don't have the legal standard for assigning punishment. I think if they said this is beyond fishy, and they're like, and of course, what if they uncover electronic documents? And there is an argument that's been stated out there that the league doesn't want to push hard into this because Ballmer will then, if it goes to court, he'll want to bring into discovery on what every other team does for all their players. Anything.
Talk about Jalen Brunson and Knicks.
Yeah, Pablo Torre sort of has already teased some Jalen Brunson stuff. There's been a lot of free agent stuff, and you got to know. So like, but even if they do get to the point where Adam Silver's like, yeah, something's here. And also this would take I feel like it would take the pressure of the other owners to pursue this. And of course they're not going to. You can't imagine a world where they're like,
you never see class solidarity.
You never see,
with a certain class.
That's right. World, right. So, but like what would an appropriate punishment be? When we look back to the Joe Smith thing, they voided Joe Smith's contract. The Timberwolves in writing paid Joe Smith under the table, which again, you got to get it. If you're not getting handed the briefcase of money, you got to get something in writing. But they eventually gave them some of their picks back, but it cost them multiple first-round picks, and they voided Joe Smith's contract. There's an argument to be made that voiding Kawhi's contract is not the worst thing in the world for the Clippers. What if they extended Kawhi's contract? You're Kawhi's stuck on your books for the next decade.
I mean, listen, I mean, I don't want to see again. I mean, I think it's a tricky situation here, right? Like it does take two to tango, so the player is part of this.
Yeah.
But voiding the contract and 3 to 5 first-round picks, that makes sense to me. Again, because I care about the competitive balance of the league, and if they're going to be able to get away with it, okay. What if this was the Lakers, right? I think everyone would be, of course, the Lakers would do this, right?
Yeah.
If it's the Knicks, I mean, I think people would be rightfully upset. If it's any team, I just don't get the point. Why have rules if they're not going to apply? I mean, I understand that everything is fake, and especially now, if you have money.
Right.
But to me, this is a pretty, it seems like a black and white situation. Of course, we need to wait until the league looks into it. But Again, I looked at all of this stuff and it seems pretty clear to me what's happening there. It's at least fishy enough that someone involved should have known, hey, wait, we probably shouldn't do this. And they did it anyway. So like, okay, you're either dumb, right? Completely incompetent because there's a huge paper trail, or you did it on purpose. You pick one, right?
You say what they
come out and say that I'm a dumbass, because I did this and left a paper trail.
So you say now things are like corrupt. One thing I tell myself, and maybe this is just coping with reality. The world has always been corrupt.
Always.
Like it's always been, oh, I owned the judges and the police force. My 7-year-old said something like, I can't remember what the context was, but she was like, well, what if they just bribed the judges? And I was like, who taught you about bribing judges? I was like, wait, in what kid's book was that? I was like, was that in a Disney Channel original where they had like a bribe the judges? But anyways, like,
been watching the news.
Yeah, like Warren Harding was incredibly corrupt. And it used to be, there wasn't a fair election in America in a major city, I don't know, ever. When Oklahoma, I'm reading the Boomtown, the Oklahoma City novel, whatever book. It's amazing. I love it. It's American history and it's NBA stuff. And it's like, there was never a legit election because it's like they were bought off and everything was always bought off. So part of me is like, well, this has always been the way. The people with power have never been held accountable for anything.
But it's never been thrown in our face.
It is thrown in our face.
The way it is now.
It used to be if you got one good newspaper article, and they used to plant newspaper articles also. Like we went into wars over fake news articles, and we're still doing that. But it's like it used to be. This is the thing I've said many times. You watch like an old movie, or you even watch like Watchmen. Where it's like a lot of the conclusions for these movies and these spy thrillers and these legal thrillers and these other crime thrillers, it's like we have to get this to the paper. If the movie ends with like, oh, they got it to the Chicago Tribune, the good guys won, and now it's like, you put it in the paper, no one cares. It's like,
I think there.
If the public finds out what Ozymandias did, it's over for him, and no one cares.
Let me ask you, like Watergate happens now. There's no way Nixon resigns.
Right.
Because shame is dead.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually like we've gotten to the point where you can't even shame someone in power or who has money into like owning up or doing the right thing. It's deny, double down and deny, and then attack. Right. So like expect to see some stuff like that coming in the next few weeks.
All right. So we have actually a really good listener submitted question about this topic. This is the croissant questioner.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
Adam P asks, who are the 2 or 3 least likely owners to be paying a player under the table?
Ooh.
Which players least likely to do it? I think you've identified a couple already. Like James Dolan, I feel like would do it just to butt heads with the NBA. He wants discovery. He's like, let's do it. What do I care? Let's do a discovery. I would love to have a protracted. I would spend the rest of my life in a legal battle against Adam Silver because this is what gets me up in the morning.
He oddly winds up on the right side of things just to be adversarial, right? Like, I mean, it's funny. Like it's 29-1. Who's the one? James Dolan.
Well, I mean, in some sense, Dave, you and I, much more politically aligned with the idea of propping up the weakest and the poorest by the richest. Sure. But also James Dolan's argument, why should I be lifting up the Pelicans? That holds water. Why should I be lifting up the Grizzlies when Robert Parra has more money than me? Great point. Hard to argue, like, those are all legitimate, but which owners do we think are least likely? I think there's a couple obvious ones. I got
a good one.
Okay. Least likely to pay someone under the table.
Herb Simon. Mall business is dead, bro. He doesn't have the cash for it.
He couldn't.
Like, I'm sorry.
He couldn't get Miles Turner some Legos under the table to keep Miles Turner.
No way. Because that guy keeps all his receipts for sure. Every time he goes out to dinner, he's talking business so that he can write that off. There's no way. He's too.
I think so.
Too
Herb Simon. I think he's not going to give you a thumb drive that has cryptocurrency on it or something. But I do still feel like Herb Simon will hook you up with a Kia dealership that will pay you like quaint sums of money. You know?
He's not going to give that. He's not giving that dealership money to give you. Is my
no?
thing.
That's
He's not going to give you any Simon gift certificates, right?
There you go. Yeah.
You know, he's not going to hook you up with, hey, I got an open spot in the mall, Miles. You can set up your Lego store there. That's not going to happen with.
I thought also like these are some of the more old school owners. I'm like Gail Benson. I think would do it, but again, in an old school way that would have been more effective in like the 1960s NBA. Like I think Gail Benson will leave you a purse with $20,000 in cash.
Okay.
And like a nice restaurant in New Orleans, like she'll leave a bag of $20,000 cash, you know, like, but again, like hilarious sums of money, like, you know, but I don't think under the table otherwise.
I would say the Reinsdorfs.
Jerry Reinsdorf, number one.
No way.
He's not doing that.
Wouldn't pay Michael Jordan, man.
Right. He didn't want to keep together the Bulls. Yeah, his champion. He's like, I can't pay Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman at the same time. That's preposterous.
I'd also say the Orlando Magic, right? Because
the DeVos,
their whole business model is built on the pyramid. You know, they want that downstream revenue. If they're giving you money,
the DeVoses would absolutely do it under the table. They would give you Blackwater stock or whatever it's called now. They have no issue with let's say alleged blatant corruption as far as I can tell.
Send a paramilitary group into your neighborhood.
I thought clearly Reinsdorf would not because he's cheap.
Yeah.
And I think the only other one, I looked through the whole list. The only other one I feel convinced would not is whichever Kroenke is listed as the owner of the Nuggets. Yeah. Kroenke's, man, they have the most money. They own their combined holdings of all their sports franchises across the globe worth more than anyone else, but still, I don't think they do it under the table. They'd be like, nope, not paying more than I have to.
You think Ishbia is giving these guys like
100%
zero interest mortgages and stuff?
Ishbia, I think would have no, so there's a few I think would have no qualms whatsoever. Just be like, listen, this is the real world. It's a free market. Like Ishbia
spent
Gores,
$400 million on a loser.
Yeah.
A loser team last year.
I mean, I think the Adelsons, Tillman Fertitta, they don't care. I mean, these are also, again,
they've got casinos, right? So they've got great, easy ways to launder that.
It's
money.
also wild when you look through the list of owners and you're like, that person clearly seems to be mobbed up. And I know that's the way it's always been, but still like, Fertitta got his start with the mob doing casinos in Texas and things. You're like, oh, that's all right. I don't know who the other, I don't think Jeannie Buss would, but maybe I'm just too bright-eyed. And she's probably like, listen, we're the Lakers.
Right.
It also could be, she could have a certain level of ignorance where she's like, I don't deal with that. We're the Lakers. And then she leaves the room and then somebody else
comes in.
And then Jay Moore comes in.
He's like, look, I'm going to give you an hour at the Laugh Factory.
He's whatever. Like, best we can. We get some real estate. Best we can. We could get you some stuff. I don't. What about like Joe Lacob? I mean, Silicon Valley. Maybe he could do some stuff under the table. Mickey Arison. I mean,
listen. No. Because again, they don't. The cruise. Like they're not making tons of money on cruise ships.
How is a cruise ship magnate still a thing?
I don't. You would have thought cruises would have just bit the dust 5 years ago, but,
right?
I think that any of the older owners are less likely. The newer ones coming up. I mean, listen. Number one, they've got so much more money.
Yeah.
But number two, they got their money or got these teams in a time without shame and where the rules are made to be broken. That's their entire MO. I mean, all of this stuff, like the way the NBA has been run the last 10, 15 years has been, here's the black and white letter of the law, and they spend half their season trying to find a way to break the rules, right? Like they're always looking for ways to go around the CBA and salary cap as it is. They're always looking for new ways to, game the system. Look at the foul baiting even, right? Like you've got teams that employ referee consultants to teach guys how to flop better. So, I just think that we're in the age of the grifter and we're stuck in it. And so any of this stuff is on the table as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, any of the mortgage guys, I would say they're highly suspect. Any of the gambling folks, they're suspect.
Speaking of mortgages, Dave, breaking news, the rate's down a little bit today. I got to call my guy.
They dropped the rate?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Do you know
disaster?
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for the question, Adam. If you want your question answered on air, you got to be a Patreon supporter. Do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. If you sign up over there, you get access to the bonus episode I released last week with Joey Devine. You can also play fantasy sports. Thank you to everyone who did the fantasy football league. We have 16 teams in there. We had our draft this week. Very exciting stuff. Of course, fantasy basketball is just around the corner. We have the negative International Stackhouse of Pancakes Fantasy League and then regular fantasy basketball leagues. If you want to do that, all of that is at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. And with that, Dave, I can let you get back to your European journeys. What's in store for the rest of your day?
You know what? I'm not sure. Might just go take a nice walk. It's actually a really beautiful day here in Munich. And I've now been in Munich this summer, I don't know, like 2 weeks. Yep. And out of that 2 weeks, this is my third sunny day. Yeah. It has been rainy or overcast and threatening rain the rest of the time. So I'm gonna go out and try to enjoy it. And then I fly home tomorrow, sadly. I was really bummed, man. Leaving the gym, knowing you're not going back into the gym the next day is a bummer. It's a bummer. So if there's any team out there looking for a coach, I don't know. I could be pried away, but I'm gonna need at least DeAndre Jordan sponsorship money.
Yeah, listen.
I don't need the Kawhi money, but
you could. I could be swayed with basically any under the table thing. So just go ahead and hit me up if you have ideas out there. Anyways, Dave, thanks for hanging out. Listeners, you guys are the best. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fast break, man. You understand?